When I think about success, I think success comes to the people who work hard and play hard. They're people who are alive, they're pushing, they're pushing boundaries, they're trying new ideas. And sometimes in places like this, that's where people show up.
This is new. This is the new way of doing business. Is first you trust yourself as individual and in a very authentic way, then you can do business.
This may look and feel like a music festival, but it's not. This is not Burning Man, that was started by veteran burners and bears a striking resemblance. These are not your average festival partiers. This is a tech conference, a TED Talk, a food festival, a yoga retreat, a networking event, and an art show, all packed into a giant LED light dance party. This is where some of the most elite tech entrepreneurs and business CEOs go to wheel and deal in the desert. This is Further Future. And it might just be where the next startup gets funded or business deal gets struck.
It was the robot heart guy that we met at David Corso's house.
I've got potential investors in deals here. I've got Tom Windish, he's a really good friend. Windish Agency, probably the hottest music agency in America in the last 30 years. So Lord and Diplo and XX and M83. 650 other bands. Like, he'll be here tonight, and he's invested in companies of mine, but he's also, we're partners in other things, so you can work from anywhere. So I was doing work here yesterday, bad signal, but you were doing work here. And I think that's more the world that most of these people live in.
That world is not what you might expect from the festival scene. Now in its second year, the Further Future Festival attracted around 5,000 attendees from around the world to the Nevada desert outside of Las Vegas for 3 days of wall-to-wall music, speakers, dinners, spa treatments, presentations, and yoga classes. Like many festivals, there were a lot of drugs, and attendees included this guy, and also these women. But you could also run into this guy, and this guy, and countless other entrepreneurs, CEOs, and business executives. Tickets started at $250, but the high-end clientele could choose from a range of upgrades, like multi-course dinner parties prepared by top chefs and luxury accommodation options, like a $7,500 lunar palace. This is one major distinction from Burning Man, where the exchange of money is explicitly forbidden. There was even a 24-hour concierge service.
We've had a lot of guests. We've, private jet into Vegas, transfer to the helicopters, they land on site. They're driven straight to their airstreams. One of the guests actually had a meeting in Vegas, so we arranged for him for a helicopter to take him to the meeting. He had his lunch, he was all dressed up, and he came back and he parties as if he hadn't even left. And people understand that, yes, you're here to party, yes, you're here to have an amazing time, but some people still have their business lives, they're entrepreneurs. It's a 24/7 thing for them.
We just love these tech conferences, don't we?
We sure do.
Thank you very much. The average person touches their phone 1,500 times a week, right? It's replaced the addiction that people had 50 years ago with a cigarette, right? Because think about what cigarettes were. They're a hand addiction. Lift it up, put it, so forth, look cool, and so forth and so on. Now we're doing the same things with phones. So just control our addiction, you'll be fine. All of the interesting stuff is now happening because people meet each other and they collaborate. And they meet each other in school or in the previous job or in some startup or in someone like this. And so you never know. I'm assuming that a number of deals will come out of this conference, but you never know when you're in it what deals will happen. That's why you come. For me, this is work and play.
The work hard, play hard mantra seemed to be in full effect throughout the weekend. Yet despite a focus on big ideas and changing the world, money was the subtle star of the festival. According to many participants, the best business strategy was not having one.
This is how friendship is made and trust happens, not by giving a PowerPoint presentation. That's what's happening here. And people do not expect a new project to happen or, raising funding. I actually raised $100,000 for my new startup leaders an hour ago. I was not looking for it. I already have a few million. But one of my friends here is like, oh, I would really love to invest. I love the idea. Can I invest? So things happen like this.
Are people working when they're here? I think that to a certain extent, yes, but I also think that there's a very entrepreneurial vein that runs through a lot of the people who are here, and it's axiomatic for these guys that work and play are the same thing. And this is how they are who they are, and how it is possible to be a successful entrepreneur. You have to genuinely enjoy the pursuit you're driving towards in business. It's about endless perseverance, and for that, you can't be switching on and off work and play. It's got to be all the one thing.
We don't work the same as we used to. We used to work in offices, and we worked with the same people for years and years, and now we can work virtually, and so many of us are entrepreneurs and can build sort of micro companies, and we have ideas that we can launch in very small teams. And that means that every opportunity to come together with people is an opportunity to create something that we can make live.
When you meet amazing people, they naturally are going to have a lot of other amazing relationships, and that does lead to things, and it does lead to partnerships and board members. But the important thing in my mind is that's not why you're here. It's very transparent when somebody is here to network. And they don't really get it. And they don't get that warm feeling, and they don't get the hugs, but if you're not here for that, the other side sort of naturally comes just as a natural consequence of meeting amazing people who happen to be brilliant and accomplished. So it's a special place.